It's actually really difficult to figure out what you do to Farscape to make it big event television. Because when we were making the series, what we would always say is we want every episode to feel like big event television and not to feel like episodic television. So that was tough, trying to sort of bring Farscape up another level. So what we've done is we've made it much more epic. The story is a very big, sweeping, epic story. It's an epic love story and an epic adventure story that requires a full 4 hours to tell that story, which is something we could never really do in the series. Even though we did 2-parters and 3-parters and stuff like that, we never quite got as big as this. It's a coming together of our characters, and it's resolving the characters a little bit. In the series, they've always been very off balance all the time, and that was part of the dynamic of the series. And now what's happening is you start to really see the way this crazy group of our star characters, our lead 8 characters, how they actually function together. Part of what was interesting about the series was letting people flip sides all the time. You know, the character that you thought was a good guy from the previous episode betrays everybody in that episode, in the next episode, and then, you know, and characters were sort of flipping around. We've tried to take the essence of those characters and purify them a little bit in this mini event, and at the same time in the Farscape tradition, as you watch the 4 hours, in the last hour, there's a lot of surprises as to actually what the agenda was of even characters that people knew very well. I think people love watching our characters screw up, frankly. I mean, that's what you don't really get in other science fiction action. You don't really get mistakes all the time, and Farscape is all full of mistakes, very human mistakes, and it done in a wonderful way. If our characters are not perfect in any way, none of them are. They're constant. There's a string of mistakes that they're making all the time, and that's part of what's so fun and so exciting. And yet they come out heroic. We wouldn't be here shooting now if it weren't for the fans and the fans' outcry worldwide for more Farscape. If it wasn't for that, the show would be done forever. And no, it was a huge public outcry that, you know, resounded around the world that made it possible to finance and produce this. I think everybody here loves it and is scared of it. I think every morning, everybody comes in scared to hell and also very, very excited, because it is so overwhelming, and the way it's produced and the way it's so ambitious. And the moment that you have something that is easy, that you could understand how to do it, then that's not good enough, so we make it so ambitious that we don't know how to do it. So I think it's the same excitement for everybody in that way. It's overwhelming, and every day is overwhelming. It's a brutal process making Farscape, and everybody, you know, deserves 3 times what they're paid for coming in and doing it, I gotta say. And at the same time, I think it's one of those things that Farscape will be with everybody on this set for the next 30 years of their lives.